Now at 10, a group in Kansas proposes to simplify the tax code in the Sunflower State. Plus, Crowder College puts history front and center in a symposium funded by the Missouri Humanities Council. And Weir, Kansas shares its own piece of history, a common item found in most homes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh today hosted a Republican event to discuss tax reform in the state of Kansas. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Americans for Prosperity's organizers say their goal is to raise awareness for their proposed reform. According to them, the bill aims to simplify the code and lower rates for Kansans. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
Kansas State Senate President Ty Masterson and other elected officials want tax reform in the state of Kansas. About 40 people joined Americans for Prosperity's Pittsburgh event, including members of the Crawford County, Kansas Democratic Party, to talk about the bill. Governor Laura Kelly previously vetoed a bill that would have cut taxes in Kansas by nearly $1.4 billion over the next 3 years. The Republican proposal sought to implement a single-rate flat income tax for individuals. Kelly argued that replacing the current 3-rate individual income tax system, which imposes higher rates on higher earners, with a single-rate flat tax would pose risks to funding for public education, roads and bridges, and other essential services.
Right now, the system's really complex. And right now, you're able to raise one of those rates and hide behind that. With a single rate tax, to raise that would to raise taxes for everyone.
Currently, 13 states in the U.S. have a flat income tax. Kansas is one of 30 that have a graduated rate income tax.
Well, the package that we're presenting is a tax cut for everybody. I don't care where you're at on the spectrum, from income, sales, retirees. Everybody has a cut, which is where we should be because we have so much cash in the bank right now. It's really not appropriate for government to store that up.
Jordan Metcalf, Democratic Precinct Committee person for Crawford County, the single-rate flat income tax would not be beneficial for the state.
Where we disagree on this is that that tax spending doesn't trickle down, it trickles up. And so the spending should be on the poor and the taxes should be on the wealthy, because that's how the money goes.
When it comes to tax codes, Metcalf believes finding a balance is essential.
A tax code that is too complicated prevents people who qualify for tax relief from getting tax relief. But having it too simple, you end up with people who have a lot of money just hoarding their money.
In Pittsburgh, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Now, in order to pass that legislation with a veto-proof majority, Republicans would have to get a 2/3 approval in both chambers. It's getting kind of cool out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
It is. We've had some nice chilly nights across the region, and the afternoon temperatures have been just fantastic. But this morning, 56, topped out at 82, right about where we should be for this time of the year. And temperatures are going to stay decently consistent as we go through the next several days. 64 in Stockton, 68 in Neosho, 64 in Carthage. Pittsburgh 64, Miami is sitting at 68. There's not a whole bunch going on out there right now. We do have some showers out to the west of Wichita, but we are going to get some clouds in here later on tonight, and our rain chances will start to increase by the time we head into the weekend. All right, through tonight, 64 here shortly. 58 by 7 a.m. I think our overnight low right around 57, back to 71 by 10 a.m. We're going to look at high school football weather forecasts, and then the rain rolling in for the weekend, all coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. Did you know one of the most useful household items was invented in Southeast Kansas? Yeah, the fly swatter. Got him. In 1906, the Weir School principal and local scoutmaster Frank Rose joined a statewide health initiative to combat flies and the diseases they carried. Rose and his Boy Scout troop helped put up screens on windows downtown. They then took some of the leftover screen and nailed it to a yardstick. Rose called it a fly bat and presented it to the Kansas Secretary of Public Health, Samuel Crumbine.
There's a story about him being at a baseball game and watching the fans yell, "Swat that ball, swat that fly." And he came up with he changed the name from fly bat to, we'll call it a fly swatter.
You can learn more about the fly swatter and other cool things that happened during the peak of the coal mining days at David Wallace's Weir City History Tent. It's going to be set up this Saturday on Main Street during the 88th annual Weir Homecoming celebration. Crowder College is hosting a free history symposium series funded by the Missouri Humanities Council. Dr. Elliott West started this series with a presentation about the American West before Lewis and Clark. The History Symposium will feature different historians discussing an aspect of American folk history.
The Missouri Humanities Council provided us with a grant that's going to fund actually 5 events. So in addition to Dr. West's talk today, there will be 3 more lectures and a musical event in April where we will be able to welcome a group who will perform historically significant music from American folk and bluegrass.
The next event is on October 5th. The Wyandotte Nation's Bearskin Healthcare and Wellness Center is celebrating 25 years. Started as a small facility, but after renovations and a relocation, the center now serves both the tribal and non-tribal communities.
You know, we're a little bit different. As a tribal healthcare center, we also see non-tribal patients as well. And so we serve not only the tribal community in this area, but we also serve the local community as well.
The celebration will continue throughout the week. Boys and Girls Club in Joplin invited kids and their family out to an after-school bash this evening. All who attended were given a meal, free merch, and a chance to win some prizes.
It's fantastic that they all come out here because we're doing everything from flu shots to giving books away where kids can read. Having partners is amazing. Like, we could not do it without them.
You can learn more information about the Boys and Girls Club on their website. Coming up, President Biden's son Hunter indicted on federal gun charges. We'll have the latest. Plus, the clock is ticking down to a potential auto worker strike that could impact our nation's economy. For the first time in 15 years, a hurricane watch is in effect for portions of Maine as Hurricane Lee approaches that region. Some people in the coastal town of Yarmouth are pulling their boats out of the water to keep them from getting damaged or destroyed by the expected onslaught of wind and rain and storm surge. The National Weather Service predicts ocean waves as tall as 20 feet could slam into the coast.
Okay, we've had this threat before in the past, and then we've been lucky in the past. Eventually luck's going to run out and it's going to hit us. This may very well hit us.
Hurricane Lee is now passing west of Bermuda. The National Hurricane Center forecasts Lee will make landfall as a tropical storm further north in Nova Scotia, Canada, Saturday evening. Almost all of Canada's maritime region is in the storm's projected path, and preparations are underway. Tropical storm warnings and watches are also up along much of the New England coastline, a region already soaked from recent rain and flooding. Weeks after a plea deal unraveled, Hunter Biden has been indicted on 3 federal firearms charges. The indictment, filed in federal court in Delaware by a special counsel, accuses the president's son of lying about his drug use when he bought a gun in 2018. The special counsel overseeing the case has indicated that tax-related charges could still be filed. The indictment comes as congressional Republicans launched a formal impeachment inquiry into President Biden, focused in large part on Hunter Biden's business dealings. So far, no hard evidence of any wrongdoing by the president has been uncovered. The clock is ticking on what could be the first ever strike against Detroit's 3 big automakers all at the same time. Nearly 150,000 UAW members are threatening to walk off the job in less than an hour from now without a new contract. Chris Van Cleve reports that a work stoppage would have a negative effect across the entire country.
Countdown to a shutdown. Without a deal, auto workers will go on strike at Ford, GM, and Stellantis plants at midnight. Negotiations appear to be stalled.
The big 3 can afford to immediately give us our fair share. If they choose not to, then they're choosing to strike themselves.
I think they're preparing for a historic strike with all 3 companies.
Ford CEO Jim Farley.
What their initial offer is to pay our hourly workers about $300,000 each and to work 4 days. That would basically put our company out of business.
Do you feel this has been a good faith negotiation?
It's hard to say what word because we've never really seen this before.
The UAW is seeking up to a 40% raise. The automakers are offering about half that. Also on the wish list, a 32-hour work week and the return of pensions, non-starters for the companies. Also, phasing out concessions made in 2008 when the car makers teetered on the verge of collapse. The big three are on a roll of big profits over the last decade, more than $20 billion so far this year alone.
Corporate greed is the problem. Our membership is fed up and fired up.
The fight is playing out as the auto industry is going through a major shift to electric vehicles. EVs require less labor to manufacture, and workers tend not to be unionized, meaning labor costs for competitors are significantly less.
We're falling behind further and further.
A Friday strike would leave third-generation auto worker Zach Van Vliet living off $500 a week in strike pay, which doesn't go far for a family of four.
How long until you start to really feel that pinch?
Honestly, I don't think it would take long at all. If we do go out, how long is it going to take to get a deal?
The UAW says without a deal, it will strike key plants belonging to all three automakers and then expand if necessary.
It's a dangerous thing to say you're going to strike just some plants but not others, because that's not how the industry can operate. And you will see more than just those plants shut down.
Economists say even a relatively short 10-day strike against all three automakers could cost $5.6 billion. A little bit later, the Gorillas are in the midst of a winning streak this young football season. John's going to have details on Pitt State's week 3 preparations.
Plus, we have rain chances back in the forecast, which is good. We're going to talk about that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Temperatures just fantastic. Most of us lower 80s for afternoon highs, and it looks good out there for us right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But today's Thursday, and every Thursday our new drought tracker comes out, of course, measuring how much moisture is in the soil, how deep does that moisture go, and we get an updated drought tracker. Still, I-44 and south, you're looking pretty good. You go up I-49, you get in Vernon County, Nevada over towards Stockton, and extreme drought, much of the same in our far western counties. So anytime we can get some rain, we could definitely use it. Temperature is pretty good, 62 in Monette. We have 65 at Grand Lake, 68 in Chanute. Nevada is sitting at 67 degrees. Outside, 7th and range line. Humidity is nice, visibility is good, southerly winds at about 5 to 10. So there's not much going on here right now. We do have some showers west of Wichita and west of Oklahoma City, but here's our next storm system that we are tracking. Thunderstorms from Denver, central parts of Nebraska. These extend all the way up into the Great Lakes, and this is going to be our next system that drops in late tomorrow night, and then as we head into Sunday morning, giving us chances for showers and thunderstorms, which of course we need. All right, let's go east. If you look right there, that's Bermuda. So about 100 miles to the west is the center of the circulation of Hurricane Lee. It's a low-grade hurricane, clocking winds at 85 miles per hour, but of course strong enough to cause some issues as it works north, kind of clips Boston, hits Maine, and then which should make landfall just east of Maine as we go into the weekend. So of course we're going to be keeping our eyes on that. Back here at home, let's step through the next 48 hours. We get some clouds increasing late tonight, but we should stay dry. As we go through the morning, mid-70s by the time we get to the noon hour, and once we get into the afternoon, temperature is pretty good. Very similar to what we saw today, about 80, 81, 82 degrees. Let's go into tomorrow night. Look at showers, even a few thunderstorms trying to work in. Now they're going to be scattered, but they are going to be out there, which is good. Watch this batch. It presses south and east. Here's 7:30 a.m. Saturday morning. And then once we get to about the noon hour, it starts to push south of Interstate 44. And then once we get into Saturday afternoon, we may even get another little batch that clips through. So at least we got some chances as we go into the weekend because we need the rain. Day planner for you tomorrow, 57 to start, 76 by noon. High temp, 82. Let's go into tomorrow evening. We got Friday night lights, 4 State. Friday night high school football games kicking off right around 7-ish, about 77 by the time the games end, down to about 71. But temperature is great. Another great forecast for Friday night high school football. 82 tomorrow, 80 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday. Sunday is going to be a great day, so is Monday. Better chances for at least wider spread showers and thunderstorms Tuesday, Wednesday, and then again next Friday and Saturday. Temperatures pretty good across the board.
I'd say those temperatures are about perfect across the board, and we need the rain.
Yes, we do.
Thanks, Doug. Carthage Area United Way kicked off their annual campaign at Roscow's Bar and Grill in Carthage. The organization brought together businesses, partners, and community members over the age of 21 to mingle with food and drinks and share how the donations to United Way help those in need.
It's invaluable just because the people that they serve would otherwise be unserved. You know, you don't have health insurance. You're not going to get the medical care or the treatment that you need. And by having that ability, you're going to be cared for in a better way.
That campaign will continue tomorrow. Still ahead, Pitt State football previews its road matchup against 2-0 Central Missouri. Plus, Joplin and Webb City square off on the volleyball court the night before the schools meet on the football field. John Dales has highlights from that game and a lot more. That's up next.
Pittsburgh State football is 2-0 heading into this weekend's road game against fellow unbeaten Central Missouri. And even though the Gorillas beat the Mules by 2 scores when they played last year, they know UCM is a dangerous team in 2023.
Completely different style of play, certainly spreads you out, up-tempo. Last year they were in bigger personnel packages and playing a lot slower, and I think even had the quarterback under center some. You know, they spread you out, quick passing game, quick screens, double moves. Really do a great job with their tempo, and they've improved personnel-wise. They did a great job in the portal, and they have some transfers in there that are really helping them play good football.
Do what we do as a defense. You know, I don't think it really matters too much about the opponent. It just matters about like us going into practice every day, you know, doing the best that we can do every day, just trying to get better. And I think that'll just help us go against whoever we have to go against. You know?
The Gorillas have been a second-half team in 2023. They've outscored their opponents a combined 55-7 in the third and fourth quarters through the first 2 weeks. The Mules have scored upwards of 40 points in each of their first 2 wins, though. Joplin High School softball back at home this afternoon. The Eagles coming off 2 consecutive losses in COC play earlier this week against Webb City and Republic. Tonight, they host Ozark. COC matchup between the Lady Eagles and Lady Tigers. We pick things up in the first inning. That's where the Tigers strike first. Audrey Carlton hits this ball to left. That's an RBI single, and Ozark leads 1-0. Bottom of the third, same score until Jaden Pankow drives this one up the middle. 2 runs are going to score on that single. She makes her way up to second. It's 2-1 Eagles on top. Into the fourth, same score. Natalie Morgan drives this one deep to the fence. Ozark takes the lead right back, 4-2. Now into the fifth. Eagles down 5-2, but Abby Lowry hammers this ball into the gap. That's an RBI double. Eagles trying to rally back. Lead cut to 5-3, but fast forward to the seventh. Joplin with a big deficit, down 10-5, and Libby Munn grounds it over to second. That's an out, and Ozark picks up the win on the road. They beat Joplin 10-5. Joplin against Webb City in volleyball tonight on the eve before the two face each other in football tomorrow night. Starting in the second set, Webb City won the first. Joplin gets a good start. Raylan Calderon gets the block there. Eagles get the point. Next serve, Calderon again, this time with the power. Goes off the hands of the Lady Cardinals. It's another point for the Eagles. Things were looking real good for Joplin in this second set, but here comes Webb City. Jaylee Rutledge pounds this one down for the kill. We'd hear more from her later in the set. It's Rutledge again, swings around, finds the open floor with another kill. Webb City takes each of the first 2 sets. That brings us to match point in the third. Joplin tries to block, but there she is again. Rutledge slams it down on the floor. That'll do it. Webb City wins convincingly over Joplin 3-0. So Webb City and Joplin, the Cardinals get the win earlier this week in softball. They win in volleyball. Tomorrow night, they play each other in football. Joplin tries to get them back.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll be right back. An escapee led police in Springfield, Missouri a wild chase this week. The ring-tailed culprit was a pet lemur. It's a primate native to Madagascar. The Springfield Police Department got a call that the furry fugitive was seen in a neighborhood park, and the officers, they gave chase. Despite the lemur's speed, the officers refused to throw in the towel, although at one point, one actually did try to throw a towel over the animal in an effort to capture it. It didn't work. With the help of some passersby, however, the lemur was eventually rounded up. It was taken to animal control, and there you go, reunited with its owner. All's well that ends well, although the lemur might not think it ended well at all. I don't know. He's having fun out there.
Yeah, he's running around the park, enjoying the nice weather that we're going to continue to see as we go into the next couple days. Tomorrow, 82 for a high. We are going to get some showers, even a few thunderstorms in here late tomorrow night and kind of on and off during the day Saturday.
Final sports notes.
Week 2 of the NFL season starts out tonight, and the Eagles, who took down the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year, they look just as good as ever. They beat the Vikings. They're 2-0.
The Chiefs didn't get taken down last year in the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry.
You said it backwards.
No, I did get it backwards. My bad.
Yeah, we don't even want to think that. Bringing bad memories of the Buccaneers.
Gosh, that was
way
awful.
back when. Vikings had a lot of turnovers lost to the Eagles tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's make it a great one.